Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. The ceremony will begin in 5 minutes. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Spring 2026 commissioning ceremony for Michigan Technological University's Army and Air Force ROTC departments. I am Cadet Jacob Hardesty with Michigan Tech Army ROTC, along with Cadet Caitlin Zimmerman from Air Force ROTC, and we will narrate today's ceremony. As we begin, please welcome the official party. I would like to introduce those officiating this evening's ceremony from right to left. Lieutenant Colonel Hans Korth, U.S. Air Force, Chair, Department of Aerospace Studies, Michigan Tech Air Force ROTC. And Lieutenant Colonel Tide Guile, U.S. Army, Chair, Department of Military Science, Michigan Tech Army ROTC. I would like to extend a warm welcome to all the distinguished guests from the university and throughout the community, families and friends who are here to support our nation's soon-to-be newest officers. This evening begins a great journey for them, and it is important that you are here to share in this experience. Your presence is greatly appreciated. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remain standing for our national anthem.
So proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Please remain standing for the invocation. Colonel Ken Harris, United States Army Reserves, will now lead us in prayer.
The Creator inspired one of history's most famous warriors to write the following: "Praise be to the Lord, my rock, who trains my hands for war, my fingers for battle. He is my loving God and my fortress, my stronghold and my deliverer, my shield in whom I take refuge, who subdues peoples under me. Lord, what are human beings that you care for them, mere mortals that you think of them? They are like a breath, their days like a fleeting shadow." Psalm 144. We are blessed as American citizens and members of the military to come from a variety of proud and historic, spiritual and religious traditions. Please pray or reflect according to your tradition as I pray according to mine. Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, thank you for the opportunity to gather today to honor the commissioning of these ROTC cadets as lieutenants. Thank you for bringing them here to Michigan Technological University and guiding them through their studies in computer science, forestry, and mechanical engineering. Bless Michael Carson in his active duty service as an Army Armor Officer. Bless Travis Krieger in his active duty service as an Air Force pilot. Bless Elijah Harris in his service in the Minnesota Army National Guard as an aviator. Bless Mickey Kohlert in his active duty service in the Army Cyber Corps. Bless Daniel Stalegrave in his service in public affairs in the Michigan Army National Guard. I thank you for their dedication to selfless service and commitment to serve our nation. Train their hands for war, their fingers for battle, their souls for peace. Bless them with wisdom, courage, and compassion as they step into their roles as officers. Be their fortress, their shield in whom they take refuge. Enable them to serve with integrity and professionalism, with honor and humility. Give them the capacity to uphold what is right, to counter what is wrong, and to know the difference. Although we mere mortals are fleeting like breath, thank you that you know each of them by name. Make their time count in your eyes. Be their deliverer in times of trial, both in peacetime and in war. Put your angels of protection around these new officers and around all who serve, guarding their bodies, their minds, their relationships, and their spirits. Give them favor with those above them, those below them, those alongside them, and with you. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain Harris, for that inspiring invocation. Please be seated.
Good evening, President Kobeck, Dr. Storer, university faculty and staff, cadets, family and friends of the 1st Arctic Battalion, and the Guardians of the North. It is my distinct honor this evening to introduce Lieutenant Colonel Matt Brolsma, our guest speaker for tonight's ceremony. His full bio can be found in your programs. Lieutenant Colonel Brolsma enlisted into the Michigan Army National Guard in 2007. Upon completing basic combat training, he immediately attended the Officer Candidate course, where he was commissioned into the Army Engineer Corps. In over 19 years of military service, both military and civilian service, Lieutenant Colonel Brolsma has led service members at all levels in both service to the state of Michigan during humanitarian crises and our nation while deployed to the Middle East. In his current role as the commander of the 107th Engineer Battalion, he not only provides tremendous leadership to his formation, but provides an invaluable support to the Michigan Tech Army ROTC program, ensuring our cadets receive experiences and opportunities that would not be possible without his dedication to the development of our future leaders. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Lieutenant Colonel Matt Brolsma.
Good evening, distinguished guests, university leadership, the professors of military science, and the cadre who have shaped these cadets over the last 4 years, thank you. To the families, friends, faculty, and mentors in the audience today, thank you as well. None of these young men achieved the milestone in a vacuum. To the cadets, your determination, grit, and resilience got you to this moment, but it was the late-night phone calls home, the quiet encouragement from a professor, and the unwavering support of your parents, spouses, and friends that fueled that determination. It is an honor to stand before you today as you take this monumental step in your journey of service. As you don the gold bars of a second lieutenant, your life will change fundamentally. You are accepting a sacred trust. America's sons and daughters, our nation's most precious resource, will soon be your responsibility. Their training, their welfare, and their success will depend on your leadership. You can never take that responsibility lightly. You are entering the joint force at a time of rapid change at a pace we've never seen before. Technology and innovation are transforming the battlefield and the way we fight on a daily basis. Artificial intelligence, autonomous systems, and cyber warfare are a few of the many disciplines reshaping our profession. But while the tools and tactics evolve, the fundamentals of leadership you have studied over the last 4 years will remain constant. The Joint Force needs its new young leaders to be ambassadors of its future. Young leaders who embrace new concepts, but Also those who are not afraid to challenge its potential. Consider that your soon-to-be battalion or squadron, brigade, and division commanders, to include this one, at one time called home using a payphone, accessed the internet using something called a modem and America Online, or maybe even had a MySpace account. Their experience with technology and information is different than yours. Your leaders will look to you, the generation that has had communication and information in the palm of its hand, to innovate and prove the technology of tomorrow. Military service is the business of people. And as a new officer, your greatest asset will be your non-commissioned officers. Every commander at echelon, from platoon and flight to the chiefs of staff of the Army and the Air Force, each has one, and it's designed that way. Trust them and empower them. Your platoon sergeant will be your greatest asset, your fiercest protector, and your harshest critic. They possess the hard-earned experience and wisdom that will make you and your platoon successful. A successful lieutenant knows that they are in charge, but a wise lieutenant knows that the NCOs run the Army and the Air Force. Now I offer some advice. These are lessons I got at the School of Hard Knocks. Not all of the required skills to be an effective officer come out of doctrine or field manuals. These are only a few of the many I've learned to develop and strengthen along my journey. Number one, leadership requires self-awareness. Know your strengths, but more importantly, know your weaknesses. Be humble enough to admit when you don't have the answer, and courageous enough to seek help. You are going to make mistakes, just own it and learn from it. Your soldiers and airmen do not expect you to be perfect, but they do expect you to be honest, and they expect you to grow. The best leaders are those who are constantly reflecting, learning, and striving to improve. Number two, develop the ability and courage to have difficult conversations. We are in the business of leadership, not likership. Whether it's holding someone accountable, giving honest feedback, or addressing a problem head-on, these moments define your character and your command climate. Avoiding hard conversations erodes trust. Facing them with empathy and integrity will build it. Third, find a mentor, someone outside of your chain of command. Seek out both officers and NCOs who emulate the kind of commander and leader you want to be. Character is great screening criteria. Find someone who cares enough about you to tell you the hard truths, not just what you want to hear. And as you progress in your career, remember to pay that forward. And I want to finish here with a quick story. This past week was the 19th annual Best Sapper competition held at Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. It is a 5-day, day and night, grueling competition testing engineer junior officers and NCOs in physical fitness and combat engineer tasks. As an example, in total, these teams ruck marched almost 40 miles over 40 days. This is the first year the Michigan National Guard has entered a team. One of the team's members for this year is an officer, a young lieutenant from my battalion, and the other is an NCO, a first sergeant from an engineer battalion downstate. This lieutenant has a great attitude no matter what I give him. He does it with grit, determination, and most importantly, a smile. All in all, just a great teammate. On Monday, the competition began with 40 two-man teams. Our team being the only one from the National Guard. The rest were from across the active duty Army. On Thursday morning, they cut the field of teams in half, down to 20, and our team was still in it. Yesterday morning, they completed the competition, finishing in 17th place, the highest finish a National Guard team has ever placed. So why do I tell you this story? They were the only team to finish with an officer and an NCO. The rest of the teams were made up of only officers, company-grade officers, lieutenants, and captains, and this is just another great example of the importance of the officer-NCO dynamic. And the second reason is that lieutenant is an alumni of the Michigan Tech ROTC program. First Lieutenant Mason Dyke, class of 2021. Lieutenants, the road ahead will test you in ways you cannot imagine, but I am filled with absolute confidence in the future of our Army and our Air Force. Embrace the burden of leadership, take care of your soldiers and airmen, and never forget the incredible privilege it is to lead America's best. Congratulations to you all. Welcome to the profession of arms. Aim high, fly, fight, win. This will defend Army strong.
At this time, Lieutenant Colonel Korth and Lieutenant Colonel Guile will present Lieutenant Colonel Brolsma with a gift of appreciation. Now we will begin the Army's portion of the ceremony. I'd like to welcome Lieutenant Colonel Guile to provide remarks about the commissioning class.
Good evening again. Lieutenant Colonel Brolsma, on behalf of the 1st Arctic Battalion, I would like to thank you for taking the time to be here with us tonight to celebrate this milestone in the careers of these young officers. The commissioning of these outstanding young Americans marks another chapter in the storied history of the 1st Arctic Battalion. The cadets commissioning here tonight are joining a tremendous lineage of both Army and industry leaders ready to lead our nation into the future. As I was preparing these comments this morning, my thoughts kept reverting to an email I received earlier this week. This email from an alum of Tech mentioned she had read the article about ROTC published in the Tech magazine in 2024. She emailed me because she was curious about leadership and posed the question: when you watch a group of cadets go through the same training, do you ever realize that some of them were already leaders before they walked in the door and the training just gave them a vocabulary for what they already knew? For me, it was a thought-provoking question. Do we make leaders or are we shaping leaders? Which I think is a distinct difference. In my experience, I would argue we shape leaders. I would argue that the short time we have with these cadets is not sufficient to make a leader. Every cadet that joins ROTC and makes it to this moment, we're already leaders. They already possess strong values, strong morals, a strong work ethic, dedication, insert any other leader trait you think is important before they ever step foot on this campus. That strong foundation, which is developed over the 18-ish years before they arrive on campus, is what allows us to shape and hone them into the leaders you see before you today. Don't get me wrong, their development will never be over, and the day any of us think we have it all figured out is the day we need to leave the Army. So, to the families of these cadets, I want to thank you. Thank you for building all the foundational leadership traits I discussed into your service member. The foundation you set allowed our team here at Michigan Tech to shape them into the leaders you see sitting on this stage tonight. To our team here at Michigan Tech, both cadre and faculty, I want to thank you. Thank you for your tireless efforts to help start the process of shaping these cadets, ensuring they are ready to move into the world and lead our nation into the future. Lastly, to our cadets here on stage, you are ready. You arrived at Tech with the traits needed to succeed. Through pressure, stress, and experiences, we have shaped you into leaders the Army will need in the future. Don't get me wrong, you will experience challenges throughout your career that on the surface, you think you are not prepared to meet. But I promise you, if you fall back on your values, your morals, and previous experiences, you'll be able to overcome any challenge you face. I will leave you with this one last thought. No one gets through this fight alone. You're a part of the greatest team in history. When times get hard, stressful, overwhelming, and even dark, please remember that you are not alone. Our strength comes from our willingness to walk through fire for a teammate. So lean on your teammates when you need them, and be that teammate for someone else to lean on when they need you. I'm extremely proud of each of you and all you have accomplished to this point. From the bottom of my heart, I wish you and your families the best of luck as you start the next chapter of your life. Please don't ever forget that you are and will always be a part of the Arctic Warrior family, and we will always be here to help when needed. Arctic Warriors, lead the pack. Thank you.
As we prepare to administer the oath of office to our Army and Air Force cadets, we recall, under the direction of General George Washington, Our first modern oaths of office were given to those serving under the Continental Army from 1775. The very first law passed by the U.S. Congress after the ratification of the Constitution was on administering the oath of office, signed by President Washington in 1789. The Constitution of the United States serves as the bedrock of authority and the responsibility upon which the oath of office is instituted. The oath of office links directly back to the Constitution and is the commitment that all officers make to service and leadership. Please pay special attention to the words as they are spoken. These cadets are pledging themselves to uphold our Constitution and defend our nation and its values. Following the oath, each new second lieutenant will have their new rank pinned on them by their family and friends. Each new second lieutenant will then participate in the time-honored tradition of the Silver Dollar Salute. The first enlisted service member who salutes the new second lieutenant following their commissioning receives a silver dollar, symbolizing the deep sense of gratitude for knowledge passed on to them during training. It's an acknowledgement from one professional soldier, Marine, sailor, airman, or guardian to another, saying, "Welcome to the military, our profession of arms." Cadet Michael Carson will have his oath of office administered by his father, Lieutenant Colonel retired Craig Carson, United States Army.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Michael Jacob Carson,
Having been appointed as second lieutenant.
having been appointed second
Correct.
lieutenant,
Sorry.
very good,
Appointed an officer in the Army of the United States
appointed an officer in the United States
in the grade of second lieutenant.
in the grade of second lieutenant,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution
that I will support and defend the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic.
foreign and domestic,
That I will bear true faith
that I bear true faith
and allegiance to the same.
and allegiance to the same.
That I take this obligation freely
I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion.
or purpose of evasion,
And that I will well and faithfully discharge
and I will and faithfully discharge
the duties of the office upon which I'm about to enter.
the office of which I'm about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Sorry, buddy.
You're good.
Second Lieutenant Carson will have his rank pinned on by his parents, Craig and Svetlana Carson, and his brother, Joseph Carson. Lieutenant Carson graduates with a Bachelor of Science in Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering. He is commissioned as an active duty armor officer, and his next training assignment is at Fort Benning, Georgia. Also celebrating with Lieutenant Carson are his family and friends. Lieutenant Carson will now participate in the time-honored tradition of the first salute. Lieutenant Carson will exchange his first salute with Sergeant First Class Ariel White, United States Army. Congratulations, Lieutenant Carson. Cadet Elijah Harris will have his oath of office administered by his father, Colonel Ken Harris, United States Army Reserves.
I state your name.
I, Elijah Harris,
Having been appointed an officer
having been appointed an officer
in the Army of the United States
in the Army of the United States
in the grade of second lieutenant,
in the grade of second lieutenant,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the office upon which I'm about to enter.
of the office upon which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Second Lieutenant Harris will have his rank pinned on by his father, Colonel Ken Harris, mother, Carmen Harris, and sister, Zoe Harris. Lieutenant Harris graduates with a Bachelor of Science in Forestry, summa cum laude, and as a distinguished military graduate. He is commissioned as an aviation officer with the Minnesota Army National Guard, and his next training assignment is at Fort Rucker, Alabama. Also celebrating with Lieutenant Harris are his family and friends. Lieutenant Harris will now participate in the time-honored tradition of the first salute. Lieutenant Harris will exchange his first salute with his mother, former Army Specialist Carmen Harris. Congratulations, Lieutenant Harris. Cadet Mickey Kohlert will have his oath of office administered by Lieutenant Colonel Tide Guile.
Raise your right hand, repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Mickey Robert Kohlert,
Having been appointed a second lieutenant in the United States Army,
having been appointed the second lieutenant in the United States Army,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to support and defend
to support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same,
and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely
and take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well
and that I will well
and faithfully
and faithfully
discharge the duties
and discharge the duties
of the office upon
of the office upon
which I am about to enter.
which I'm about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Second Lieutenant Kohlert will have his rank pinned on by his parents, John and Doreen Kohlert, and his sister, Morgan Kohlert. Lieutenant Kohlert graduates with a Bachelor of Science in Computer Science. He is commissioned as an active duty cyber officer, and his next training assignment is at Fort Eisenhower, Georgia. Also celebrating with Lieutenant Kohlert are his family and friends. Lieutenant Kohler will now participate in the time-honored tradition of the first salute. Lieutenant Kohler will exchange his first salute with Sergeant First Class Christopher Bates, Michigan Army National Guard. Congratulations, Lieutenant Kohler. Cadet Daniel Stalegrave will have his oath of office administered by Major Paul Weiss, United States Army.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name,
I, Daniel Stalegrave,
having been appointed an officer in the United States Army
having been appointed an officer in the United States Army
in the grade of second lieutenant,
in the grade of second lieutenant,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to support and defend the Constitution of the United States
to support and defend the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic, that I bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely without mental reservation or purpose of evasion, that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which I'm about to enter. So help me God.
So help me God.
Second Lieutenant Stalegrave will have his rank pinned on by his wife, Lorelei, his mother, Anne, and his sisters, Natalie and Isabella. Lieutenant Stalegrave graduates with a Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering, cum laude, and is a distinguished military graduate. He is commissioned as a signal officer with the Michigan Army National Guard, and his next training assignment is at Fort Eisenhower, Georgia. Also celebrating with Lieutenant Stalegrave are his family and friends. Lieutenant Stalegrave will now participate in the time-honored tradition of the first salute. Lieutenant Stalegrave will exchange his first salute with his father, Petty Officer First Class Retired David Stalegrave, United States Navy. Congratulations, Lieutenant Stalegrave. At this time, I would like to introduce Air Force Cadet Caitlin Zimmerman, who will narrate the Air Force commissioning ceremony.
Good evening. To begin, I invite to the podium Air Force Detachment 400 Commander and Professor of Aerospace Studies, Lieutenant Colonel Hans Korth.
Good evening. I have my prepared remarks here, and I'll get to those, but I'm going to call a couple of audibles on the second night of the NFL draft. So, first, to Lieutenant Colonel Brolsma, thank you for your insightful words. To the cadets over here, he talked about innovation, and he made some jokes about MySpace and dial-up that didn't land with you guys at all. But I'm going to tell you that the Air Force cadets in the room can attest that they've heard me say this on more than one occasion. Nothing screws me into the ceiling faster than hearing somebody say, "That's not how we do things here," or "We've never done it that way before." Don't limit your thinking, okay? Just because you've never done it before doesn't mean you can't, and just because you've always done it a certain way doesn't mean you should continue to do it that way. I was in the B-21 program office from 2018 to 2023, so real world, and I worked with a bunch of people that were senior, right? They'd been out there, they'd done that, they came from the field to come help us design this brand new weapon system, and they kept trying to drag us back to the way they'd always done it. And I kept telling them to knock it off. We are not designing this weapon system for you and me. By the time this thing hits Mob 1, we're going to be gone, retired, out of the service. We are designing this for today's 5th graders, okay? So if we design it in a way that you could operate, we're too late. It's Stone Age. We're done, right? We've already lost. So be innovative. Don't limit your thinking. Second audible, he didn't bring it up, but this is his last commissioning ceremony here, okay? So 3 years, Lieutenant Colonel Todd Dial. It's been a pleasure serving alongside of you, getting to know you, and I'm super happy for you and your family that you're getting to go back, live under the same roof again, ride out your rest of your career on the way to retirement at Fort McCoy. So good luck to you and your family. Thank you. And one more from the Army ROTC department. Eve is here tonight. I'm sure I saw her earlier. She's retiring this summer after 20-ish years in the basement. She was down there when I was a cadet here. So Eve, thank you for your time and service to the Army ROTC department here at Michigan Tech. All right, so welcome, esteemed faculty and administration members, Dr. Kovac, Dr. Storer. I can see all of you over there. There are a lot of names. Thank you for coming. And again, thank you for all of the support that you guys provide to the ROTC department, Army, and Air Force. We genuinely appreciate it. Thank you to all the cadets who volunteered to stick around after finals to help with this event and show their support to their fellow commissionees. Thank you to the Rozsa Center staff, and thank you to Ms. Shannon Eddy for doing virtually all the heavy lifting to make this event possible. And a special thank you to all the family and friends of our commissioning cadets. ROTC has a long tradition here at Michigan Tech. Army can trace their roots back to the university's founding, and Det 400 was established in 1946 as one of the 78 original Air Force ROTC detachments established by General Dwight Eisenhower's General Order Number 124. Our graduates have gone on to significantly influence the course of our respective services and our nation. We have produced general officers, both current and retired, war heroes, civic leaders, entrepreneurs, academics, and tragically fallen service members. Perhaps most impressively, we consistently produce good citizens who are contributing members of society and serve their communities, and just as these 5 young adults are today and will continue to be into the future. The Air Force Lieutenant Select sitting before you tonight is another example of that long tradition. You know what they call Lieutenant Select? Cadet. He is professional, confident, empathetic, intelligent, disciplined, motivated, and service-minded. He truly embodies our service corps values of integrity, service, and excellence, and he represents the best of us. Cadet Travis Krieger was born and raised in Saline, Michigan in the Ann Arbor area. He developed a love for building and creating at a young age, starting with Legos, then robotics in high school, and eventually 3D printing, participating in the Blue Marble Security Enterprise, and earning a Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering. Upon his acceptance to Michigan Tech, he decided to join Air Force ROTC because, in his words, he realized God had given him the mind for engineering and the heart to serve. During his time in Air Force ROTC, he's been a trainer of underclassmen, directed cadet wing operations, and culminated his ROTC career as the cadet wing commander this semester. He decided he wanted to fly after a Civil Air Patrol incentive flight early in the program and is realizing his goal as he is headed to undergraduate pilot training at Laughlin Air Force Base in Del Rio, Texas. Cadet Krieger, remember what you learned here at Tech, in and out of the classroom. Trust your instincts because they're what got you here. Maintain an open mind, a thirst for knowledge, a growth mindset, and a healthy appetite for smart risk-taking. Thanks again for raising your hand in the service of our country and the defense of our ideals. I wish you the best of luck and thank you for your service.
Thank you, Lieutenant Colonel Korth. We will now administer the oath of office to our Air Force commissionee. Cadet Travis Krieger will have his oath of office administered by Major Daniel Polakowski, United States Air Force.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your full name.
I, Travis James Krieger.
Having been appointed a second lieutenant in the United States Air Force.
Having been appointed a second lieutenant in the United States Air Force.
Do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear.
That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
That I bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
That I bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
That I take this obligation freely.
That I take this obligation freely.
Without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion.
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties of the office upon which I'm about to enter.
the duties of the office upon which I'm about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Second Lieutenant Krieger will now pin on his new rank. Performing this honor for Second Lieutenant Krieger are his parents, Matthew and Trish Krieger, and his sister, Jasmine Krieger. Lieutenant Krieger graduates cum laude with a Bachelor of Science degree in Mechanical Engineering. His Air Force specialty is pilot. Lieutenant Krieger will now participate in the time-honored tradition of the first salute. Lieutenant Krieger will exchange his first salute with Master Sergeant Russell Seacrest, United States Air Force. Congratulations, Lieutenant Krieger. Ladies and gentlemen, may I introduce to you, for the first time, our nation's newest lieutenants. Please remain standing for the playing of the Army and Air Force songs. This concludes the ceremony. On behalf of the Michigan Tech, Army, and Air Force ROTC programs, I would like to thank all of you for attending today's ceremony and invite you to celebrate with us in the lobby for refreshments. Please Please remain standing for the departure of the official party.